Hey all you mentees, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and welcome back. Today I get to announce two brand new Marvel Omnis coming out early next year. So, let's go ahead and get started. This video is sponsored by Marvel Comics, so thank you so much to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us advance notification of these two Omnis coming out early next year. So before going any further, please smash that like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, let others know where you get your breaking news in the world of collected editions, and share the video. Stay away from the comment section, as I always tell people, in case you want to be surprised. And then by all means, let us know which covers or what book you're interested in and what you think about the stories. So let's talk about these books. I've talked about how recently Marvel has been releasing books that have been part of their modern, like pretty modern books that have just ended or have come out in the last couple of years. And I feel like that's what they're trying to focus on more and more. We're still getting some classic Omnis announcements, don't worry, those are coming. But the two that I'm talking about today are, one is really like right off the presses, and the other one is a couple of years old, but still what I consider a modern age book. So let's talk about the one that is at least a couple of years old, but like I said, still modern, and coming out in January. That is Captain America by Nick Spencer, Volume 1. So let's take a look at the standard edition. Cover by Jesus Saiz, who was one of the series artists on the book, and this is the one that's going to be available everywhere. And now let's look at the contents of the book. So here we have Captain America Sam Wilson, 1 through 17, Captain America Steve Rogers, 1 through 11, Avengers Standoff, Welcome to Pleasant Hill. These are all Standoff miniseries. Assault on Pleasant Hill Alpha 1, Assault on Pleasant Hill Omega, Civil War 2, The Oath, one shot, and then material from Free Comic Book Day 2016, Captain America. So it does say Volume 1, and we know there's enough material for a Volume 2. We'll talk about that here in a second. But before I do, let's take a look at the direct market cover. This direct market cover is supplied by Alex Ross. Now, Alex Ross did supply a lot of the covers for the books. And I say books because there were two ongoing at the time. But the main artists are Jesus Saiz and Daniel Acuna. So you had Captain America. There were two Captain America at the time after Rick Remender's run, so this takes place after that Rick Remender Omnibus that sets up Sam Wilson as Captain America. So you do have Captain America Sam Wilson, and then you have Captain America Steve Rogers. Both were going on at the same time, and if you're wondering how Captain America Steve Rogers, again, you can find out through these pages. And this book seriously sets up the events of what became the Secret Empire. So like I said, there is enough material for a Volume 2 because you have Secret Empire. I want to say that there's about 20 more books between both Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Sam Wilson. And then it all comes together with Captain America number 25 when the Sam Wilson series was renumbered, or renamed rather. But yeah, this one is a surprise for me because they went with the Rick Remender Omnibus, and I thought that this might have been one that they forgot about, so I'm glad to see it here, and I hope to see a Volume 2 that includes the Secret Empire series. But yes, that is our first one. That one comes out in January. Now, the book that's hot off the presses, and I say that, I'm sure immediately people are already thinking what it is, and I will say I did not see this coming, but Spider-Man Beyond Omnibus is coming out in February with 3 different covers. So let's take a look at the main cover. This one here supplied by Arthur Adams, who was doing the covers for most, I want to say every single issue of the Beyond, Spider-Man Beyond did have a cover by Arthur Adams. Now let's talk about the content. This collects Amazing Spider-Man 75 to 93, 78 Beyond. Okay, let's just call it Beyond. 80 Beyond, 88 Beyond, point or dot. Sorry, I worked in IT for so long. 92 Beyond, and then the issue 74, just the Ben Reilly story. Free Comic Book Day 2021, Spider-Man Venom number 1. and that is just the Spider-Man story from there. And then Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond #1. I'm glad that's included in there because I feel like Jed MacKay was part of this too. So I'll talk about the creators here in a second, but before I do, let's take a look at the first direct market cover. This one here also supplied by the phenomenal and legendary Arthur Adams. So when I said I'm surprised by this announcement, it's because we have a Nick Spencer Volume 1 coming out later this year. I was really happy to get to announce that because I know a lot of people really enjoy that modern take on Spider-Man. But we don't have a Volume 2 yet, so it gives me a lot of hope that there's a Volume 2 because this follows Nick Spencer's run. This is the brain trust of Kelly Thompson, Seb Wells, Corey Ziegler, and who else? Saladin Ahmed, of course. And I like to throw Jed MacKay in there because I think he's just a great creator. And he did have some co-plot in some of these stories. Now, this is also the era known as the return of Ben Reilly, hence that one-shot that's collected in here. And what's going on with Peter Parker? Why is he out of commission? Well, you can find out by reading this. Actually, with issue 75, it tells you why, what exactly happened to Peter Parker and why Ben Reilly is back. But let's take a look at the other direct market cover. So this is one by Humberto Ramos, who was the series artist from time to time. I mean, he's been, oh my gosh, he was there with Dan Slott, and then, of course, before that it was Peter Jenkins. But anyway, he still worked on Amazing Spider-Man even through the Nick Spencer run, and then, of course, some of these stories are... He does a little bit of artwork in there. But the main artwork is basically Patrick Gleason and Sarah Pichelli also helping out here. And, of course, Arthur Adams, as I mentioned, doing the covers. That is a really interesting omnibus. So it gives me, like I said, a lot of hope that Marvel is determined to finish out Nick Spencer's run in omnibus format, then giving us this. I remember when I was reviewing the trade paperback, I'm like, I really hope this is not a forgotten series that, you know, is just going to be in trade paperbacks. Once they go out of print, that's it. Nobody will ever talk about these again. But, hey, that's awesome. That's great that this series is coming out. Not only what I thought was going to be oversized hardcover format, Uncanny Omar Talk Pretty one day, but it's coming out in omnibus format. So you have Captain America by Nick Spencer Volume 1 coming out in January, and Amazing Spider-Man Beyond coming out in February. Let me know in the comments down below which covers you're going to get for each of the books, what you think about the mapping. Does it surprise you to see these modern era books? Like I said, it surprises me, and it brings me a lot of hope that the modern era stuff is not going to be forgotten, that they're going to keep moving on into omnibus formats. And yeah, what other modern era Marvel Omnibus you want to see collected? And as a guy that likes, you know, things from the Silver Age, Bronze Age, and I don't even know what age is between Bronze and, I guess, Modern Age, whatever term we're going to come up with here, I'm happy to see books collected from different eras. That makes me happy. I know some people only like specific eras, whether it's the old stuff, the new stuff, or stuff in the 80s or the 90s. I think it's great for people, and I know I'm not the only one that likes a little bit of everything. So, everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Smash that like button, and much love.